Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're diving into a really big question that anyone with a website faces. When it comes to SEO, do you go with a specialist like Yoast or a full-on strategist like Semrush? Let's figure out which one is your champion. And really, this is the whole thing right here. Are you looking for a tool that lives right inside your website, kind of like a coach looking over your shoulder for every post you write? Or do you need something bigger? A bird's eye view of the entire digital battlefield. This is the core choice we're going to break down. So here's how we're going to tackle this. First, we'll lay out the problem. Then we'll meet our two main contenders, Yoast and Semrush. After that, we'll put them head to head, see how they stack up, and then, and this is interesting, we'll see how they can actually work together. And finally, we'll get you ready to make your choice. Okay, let's kick things off by really understanding the fundamental choice that you're up against. The thing is, there's no single best tool that works for everybody. The right answer for you depends completely on what you're trying to do. It's about your goals, how big you want to be online. Really, it's a strategy question before it's a software question. All right, let's meet our first contender. For millions of people, this is the undisputed champion of on-page SEO, and it lives right inside their websites. For so many WordPress users, Yoast is just essential. The best way to think about it is as a real-time coach. It sits right there in your editor while you're writing, giving you immediate feedback to make sure every single thing you publish is as easy for search engines to find and understand as possible. And if you look at these features, you start to see a really clear pattern, right? Every single one of them is laser-focused on making your individual pages better. It checks your writing for clarity, it makes sure you're using your keyword correctly, it suggests other pages on your site to link to, it even handles a bunch of the technical stuff automatically. It's all about perfecting the content that's already on your website. Okay, so now let's pivot to our second contender. This one takes a much wider view of the entire marketing landscape. So Semrush is not a plugin. It's this huge separate platform. If Yoast is the specialist working inside the workshop, Semrush is the command center that's looking at the entire city map, including what all your competitors are building. It's a whole toolbox for digital marketing, not just one tool. And this is where the scale just absolutely explodes. With Semrush, you're not just looking at your own stuff. You're digging into your competitors' strategies, doing incredibly deep keyword research, auditing your site's technical health from top to bottom, tracking your rank. You can even manage paid ad campaigns. It's all about total market awareness. All right, so we've met the players, now it's time to put them in the ring. Let's compare them directly on some of the most important battlegrounds for anyone doing SEO. So right off the bat, you can see this fundamental difference in their whole philosophy. Yoast is like a surgeon's scalpel. It's designed for the very precise task of on-page optimization, and it does it brilliantly within WordPress. Semrush, on the other hand, is the entire Swiss Army knife, built for a huge range of marketing challenges. Now, if we get specific and look at their writing assistants, the difference gets even sharper. Yoast gives you that amazing live feedback right there as you type in WordPress. But the Semrush tool is more powerful. It's a standalone thing that works with any website, and it gives you deeper insights on things like your tone of voice or how engaging your content is. When it comes to keyword research, well, this is where the difference is massive. Yoast is fantastic for helping you optimize a page for a keyword you've already chosen. But Semrush is where you go to find those keywords in the first place. It has these incredibly powerful tools for seeing what your competitors rank for and finding gaps in the market that you can actually win. Now, this is super important for anyone just getting started. Yoast is an amazing teacher. That little green light system, it's a simple, guided way to learn the basics of good on-page SEO. Semrush, while incredibly powerful, can feel like you're trying to drink from a fire hose if you're a total beginner. There's just so much there. So we've been setting this up as a versus battle, right? Yoast versus Semrush. But what if that's actually the wrong way to think about it? What if these two aren't rivals at all, but actually partners? This is where things get really powerful. See, the most advanced marketers, they don't actually choose one or the other. They use them together. They use the strategist research to fuel the specialist execution. Let me show you what that actually looks like. So here's the workflow. You start high level with Semrush. You use it to do all your strategic work, finding valuable keywords, planning out your content, analyzing what the competition is up to. Then you take all of that amazing intelligence, you go back into WordPress, and you use Yoast to make sure every single article is perfectly optimized for the targets you just found. It is literally the best of both worlds. Okay, so we've looked at their individual strengths, their key differences, and even how they can team up to form this incredible alliance. Now it's time to bring it all home and help you make that final call. And here's the bottom line. If your world is all about creating amazing content inside of WordPress, if you're a blogger or a small business, then Yoast is your essential co-pilot. But if your job is to understand the entire competitive landscape, to do deep research and manage a much bigger marketing strategy, then Semrush is the command center you just can't live without. So it all comes back to this question right here. It was never really about which tool is better. It was always about, what does your website need to win? Are you trying to build a champion page, or are you trying to build a champion strategy? Now you have the knowledge to choose.